Hi there, this is Chris, the chap in the cap from Motor Legends, here today to talk to you about a rather cool accessory. Literally cool because it's a cooling vest. It's from a company called Macna, and it's something that you wear when it's really hot to lower the body's temperature. So if you've ever ridden in really hot conditions, you will know that the oncoming warm air doesn't provide much by way of relief. So it can be quite difficult cooling down when you're riding somewhere hot and you're riding in a way that's going to make you even hotter. What we need to do is sweat. And sweat is the body's life-saving strategy to cool us down. The way sweating cools us down, the sweat that appears on the skin, that evaporates. Now that transition, that transference of the water into a gas form, that consumes energy, and that energy takes heat, and that heat is taken out of the liquid and creates coolness on whatever surface that liquid is sat on, as it were. So that's what we call evaporative cooling, and that's what needs to happen if you are to cool the body down. And it's a natural process wherever you are. If you're running about in hot weather, the sweat on you as it evaporates, that is what is keeping the body's temperature at an acceptable level. But there are times when you're riding somewhere where it's so hot the body just isn't able to do that sufficiently. Maybe you've got a jacket over the top, you're just not cooling down fast enough, and that can literally be a killer, because it can lead to heat stroke, exhaustion. I have had one ride that I did in Mexico. I was doing the Baja 1000, not the real thing, I was doing the tourist version, but I got incredibly hot. I was wearing a waxed cotton jacket, I was losing liquid, and I found myself, wherever there was a rock or a tree, it could be 50 meters off the track, I'd find myself just riding towards it and smashing into it. I was completely out of it, and that was all to do with the fact that I had overheated. So the answer to this in some ways is a cooling vest, and the one I've got here from Macna does the job perfectly. So this is the jacket, comes in 4 different sizes. The sizing's a wee bit weird, you need to check it out on the website, but it goes down from a very small size up to the equivalent of a 7XL. Each size is actually 2 sizes, because this doesn't have to be worn in a particularly exact way. Now, I'm going to fill it up, then I'm going to put it on, I'll show you how it works. But in essence, you have a zip here, or an opening here, and you pour water into it. Now, you do not want to pour too much water in. They recommend about a pint, and I've come across people who have thought, well, a pint, I'm going to make it work even better, I'm going to put 2 pints in. You do not make this work better by putting more water in. In fact, you make it work worse, because what you want the water to do is to heat up and start evaporating. The more water that you put in, the less evaporation there's going to be, so that will give you a less of a cooling effect. So actually, if you put in a pint, this jacket, Macna reckons, will last about 3 days. So bear with me, I'm just going to pour the water all over the jacket is what I'm going to do. And as you can see, I did that without spilling a drop. So once you've got the water in there, you want to move it all around the jacket. You want to move it up to the shoulders, roll it around, and just get the water spread evenly throughout the jacket. So that you can feel it all over. Yep, so that's about it. So evaporative cooling, it's been around a long while. It's been used by the military forever. There are similar vests to this, but the old-fashioned system that soldiers would use was basically just wet towels around their body, sometimes with a t-shirt over it. You'd wet those towels, and when those towels evaporated again, that's going to create a cooling effect on the body. There are other cooling systems around for motorcycling, but what some of those require is that you get the surface of the material totally wet, and that's not a nice way to ride. What's nice about this is that you're going to get an evaporative cooling effect, but other than where I spilled water all over it, this jacket stays dry. So it's very simple. As you're riding along, this water is going to evaporate. As it heats up, it's going to evaporate, and that's going to create coolness in the jacket. So the coolness in the jacket is what cools the body. And what they reckon is that this jacket can reduce the ambient temperature, not the body temperature obviously, but the ambient temperature by up to 15 degrees. And that's quite a significant amount. Now, in the hottest conditions, really a jacket like this can be a real lifesaver. I went on a trip more recently to Morocco. I went with Sarah. We had a little accident. I went over a hill, got stuck in some sand. She came over, she ran right into me. We both sustained reasonable injuries. I broke my ankle. She actually broke a bone in her tibia. We still had 100 miles to ride out of the desert. We'd lost our confidence a wee bit. It was really hot. There was lots of deep sand, so it was quite hard riding. And we were beginning to get heat stroke. We got very, very hot. There wasn't enough water around. We were really suffering. Unfortunately, it's a kind of a busman's holiday thing. We didn't take the right gear. These were in stock. We should have taken one. We didn't realize how hot it was going to be. But if we'd had this, it would have made life much more comfortable. The price is £140, and what I can assure you of is that when you're in conditions like that, £140, it's going to seem like the bargain of the century. I would have paid 3 times as much to have had a vest like this with me because I was suffering. This would have made life so much more bearable. So that's it. We've had a lot of customers have taken these abroad. People swear by them. They really do work. If you're going somewhere really hot and you're going to be doing riding that's going to make you feel even hotter, then this is kind of the only way. There's always ways of staying warm on a bike, but staying cool is what is challenging. Vents and mesh just doesn't do it. If you want to lower the body temperature, you're going to need something like this, and this will do the job. I think it's fantastic, and £140, as I mentioned, it's kind of a bargain. So if you want to see more cool gear like the Macna Cooling Vest, visit the website motorlegends.com. We have an accessory section, lots of really cool gear on there. Now, if you want to learn more about the vest in particular, then if you click on one of the links on the screen, sometimes they're up there, sometimes they're down there, that will take you directly to the relevant page for the Macna vest. There you can check out the spec in a little bit more detail, you can check availability, and obviously if you're really taken with the vest, you can buy one there and then. Now when you buy from us, we try to make the process as simple, straightforward and risk-free as we possibly can. There's no delivery charge on anything you buy from us, returns are totally free, and what's more, we give you a full 12 months in which to decide whether you do want to return something to us. We have the best price guarantee in the business. Now, John Lewis is rightly famed for its never knowingly undersold promise, but we go one stage better. If you find anyone selling anything that we sell at a price that is lower than ours, we will beat that retailer's price by a full 10%. If the retail is in the EU but not in the UK, we will match their landed price. Now, there are a few terms and conditions, nothing particularly onerous, but if you are going to price beat us, I suggest you visit the website and check out what those terms and conditions are. If in future you'd like to receive bulletins from us about new products, then go to the website. At the top of every page there's a piece of script that says newsletter sign up. Click on that, within seconds you'll be in business and you'll get email bulletins from us in the future. Now, if you prefer, however, to get your information videographically, in other words, in this form, we would be delighted if you wanted to become a subscriber to our YouTube channel, and you can do that by clicking on the button below. Now, this is 2020, and during this year, we're running a promotion. We're going to be giving away a motorbike. We're calling it a Steve McQueen tribute bike. It's based on a Mutt 125cc machine. It's a little cutie. You can read all about it on the front page of our website. You can read about it on the home page of our YouTube channel. But to stand a chance of winning it, you have to be a subscriber. We're going to enact the draw just before Christmas this year. So if you want to stand a chance of winning the bike, as I've said before, hit the button down there. Finally, I'd like to make a play for our fabulous shop here in Guildford. We are based about a mile from the centre of Guildford, a mile from the railway station. When you come and visit us, you will see that it's quite a small footprint. The shop is not huge, but it's attached to our warehouse where we have more than £2 million worth of merchandise arranged over 3 floors. It technically makes us the second largest motorcycle apparel shop in the UK, but we think we are far more than just the quantity of merchandise we have here in the building. We're about service and we're about personal fitting. Check us out on Trustpilot. We have the highest 5-star ranking in the business. When you come and see us, we'll sit down to have a chat with you. We'll serve you only the finest Italian illy coffee, or we'll serve you proper Yorkshire tea in a proper teapot. And who knows, you may even get to taste one of Sean's mum's delicious motorcycle-shaped shortbread biscuits. Anyway, this has been Chris. I hope to talk to you again soon.